Welcome to Poto Pirate Network, and we're here on Friday night game night. We're here to bring you all the local district games and some of the area college games that we're going to talk about, but we're going to break it down. Join with me is Carson Cohen, Joe Ballard, and Eric Hackler. Welcome and thanks for joining us. So, guys, hey, as we start going this week, we've been going through a few weeks of this, and we've seen a lot of great football, a lot of great action. Poto's played really well. But as we start talking about these matchups, one of they're really the two big matchups of the week is Broken Bow versus Ada. So let's talk a little bit about that Broken Bow game and Ada. Joe, what do you want to talk about that?
Broken Bow, extremely talented, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Graham Howe's an unbelievable player. But I'm telling you, just watching Ada up close and seeing the type of athletes, fast twitch athletes that they have against us, defense, offense, special teams, there's not many weaknesses on that team. And so it's going to be an exciting game to monitor and watch. But I'm telling you, Ada's for real, boys.
They are. They looked really good against us. And, you look at Broken Bow, though, I'll tell you what impresses me with them right now is they've scored over 200 points in 4 district games, and we got a tough district.
Yeah.
So it tells you that Broken Bow's offense is really good. They did give up 40 to Salisal, so there's, like I said, offensively they've been pretty good. But Mr. Hackler, anything you want to tie in there?
I think that's going to be the thing is can they get stops when it matters. Broken Bow's their quarterback's unbelievable. He's going to be the best player on the field every time he steps on it in the district for sure. And but Ada, it's not just their speed, man. They've got size. They can run the ball. They can stop the run. They can do a lot of different things. Even though it's at Broken Bow, I think Ada has the edge here. But man, I bet it'll be an exciting game to watch for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like pick your poison, honestly, with Ada, because if Broken Bow wants to stack the box and try to stop the run, that quarterback 6'3", 6'4", got a good arm. He can move around well enough to get out of the pocket and make some noise. And then if you want to set back and play kind of a zone prevent defense, they're just gonna shift over and go heavy on you and run it down your throat.
Absolutely. Carson, you want to add anything to that?
Other than the offense, I mean, they both got offensive weapons. They're both gonna be tough teams to beat. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, no, I think it's an exciting game, and I think we talked about this at the last game day that everybody was like, "Oh, you don't going down to Broken Bow, you can't win at Broken Bow, you can't win," and Salisal went down and beat them.
Yeah, proved that
so,
wrong.
In Broken Bow's mind, where it used to be a tough place to lose, you just lost.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So going on to our second game of the week is Glenpool versus McLean. This is an interesting matchup. McLean definitely has a few extra wins. I think they're 4-3. Maybe I can't remember offhand. Going into a Glenpool team that hasn't won, but they've played some teams close, and they played us close up until the end. And so this could be a really good game. Carson, you got anything to add to that?
I agree with you, Coach P. Even though they're 0-6, they have played a lot of close teams, like us, of course. Going to that game, at their home, I was a little afraid, but we started to come back on that. And McLean, they played tough. Their dudes are really fast. I think they got a lot of talent. It's going to be a good game.
Yes, definitely. Mr. Hack?
Yeah, being at Glenpool, I think they do play a lot better at home. And even, last week against Salisal, it was 14-7 at halftime. So their style, the way Coach Warner plays, you don't have many possessions, so you got to take advantage. So I think that's going to be the key for McLean is they have athletes all over. So they can score, in 1-2 play drives. So I think it'll be the key for Glenpool is to get those stops, those third downs, and then just keep their offense off the field. And they've done, hopefully Coach P. Warner gets him one this week, and that's what I root for him on the side there. And but they're bound to come through here because they've had a lot of close ones. So
No, definitely. Mr. Ballard, you got anything for that game?
Yeah, I agree with everything Coach Hackler said, and P. Warner, you can tell he's trying to break through that wall there, that belief that you can win. Again, there at Glenpool, and that's what I told him when I got to talk to him is, listen, it's been done there before, so it's not impossible. It's just changing that culture, and they got a couple key athletes that kind of make it explosive. We had one kickoff return luckily it got called back, and then they returned another one with 2 minutes to go, and keep it close there. And that kid, he can straight up fly, number 18
Right.
for Glenpool. And but I think McLean, has the athletes to match up with that. And so this is a hard one to pick. It's going to be interesting to see what you guys go with.
No, absolutely. I think with Glenpool, well, let's talk about McLean. For what Poto did really well with McLean is to keep him inside the tackles and not let him get outside and break, for sideline. And I think that's the same with Glenpool. Glenpool's going to have to keep him inside the tackles and keep that big play from happening. I think offensively for Glenpool, I like Glenpool in this situation offensively because I feel that Coach Warner will be able to pick them apart because I do feel that McLean becomes undisciplined at times. So I definitely feel that Glenpool could have some success there.
They also eat up a lot of the clock. Glenpool does.
Yes, they do.
I think we had 2 possessions in the first half. Was it 2 or?
I think we got the third right at the end.
Right at the very end, and so you make one bad throw or something goes wrong and just doesn't block it up correctly, they're going to limit your possessions, and that's going to really hurt McLean.
Absolutely.
And McLean, one thing I'll add, that physical play, I think that was noticed for the last few years. If you can be physical with them and kind of just wear them down, and that's what Glenpool will try to do, and that kind of 10, 12, 14 play drives, it's just wearing on you. And then you end with a touchdown, and then their offense finally, because they play a lot of kids both ways, McLean does. So
Right.
You start doing that and getting them mentally, I think that'll help them.
No, I agree. So going into our third game, Hilldale versus Stillwell. These two teams are very similar. If you look at record and you look at points allowed, points scored, this to me is a toss-up because, the Stillwell team that came in here and played us is different than a few of the games that, when they played McLean and a few others. So you don't know what you're going to get with Stillwell. And so this one here is definitely, I'm not sure which way I'm going to lean yet, but anything you want to add about the Stillwell?
I think they're gonna fight hard this game. I feel like Hilldale. I feel like them and Stillwell both. I feel like Hilldale passes a lot more. Playing both these teams last year, they were both good games. I feel like last year's Poto team versus this year's Poto team. I feel like Poto this year. Well, I feel like it's gonna be a good game. But
I agree. I think it's gonna be a barn burner. I think it's gonna be close. I don't see this game getting away from either team. I think it's gonna be won in the fourth quarter, definitely. Mr. Hackler, anything you want to add after seeing those two?
It's almost like what we talked about. Everybody, it's like there's points being scored in our district. Like there's not a whole lot of defense being. It's not necessarily bad defense. It's just we've got really good offenses, and I think it's just like they scored 44 against Stillwell against McLean. Last week they lost 55-44. Just couldn't get a stop. So I think it'll probably just come down to who gets a stop. Hilldale's really good on offense with their quarterback back. I think they got a really good receiver. But Stillwell's going to put points up too, so that should be an exciting game.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, boys. You watch Hilldale on tape, and you see them on paper. These cats can roll. Like they got some of the best studs in the entire district. And again, we have the deepest district in 4A across the state. From top to bottom. Hilldale is an extremely, extremely talented and scary team. And when they have all cylinders hitting at the same time, they're going to put up a lot of points, but just because they're so stinking athletic. But again, like you said, Stillwell, I don't think it's the same team. They rolled in here earlier in the year, and so homecoming for us is just range of emotions and home game. So this is going to be a tough one to pick for sure. But Hilldale's got some cats.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of excited to see that game. And what's crazy about those bottom four teams right now: Glenpool, Hilldale, McLean, Stillwell. Honestly, at any point, any one of those four teams can knock off the top four.
Upset City every week.
There's a chance because, they've all been in the games. There's always been, and it's just, like you said, maybe a drive or a stop that happens. But I think any of those teams could upset at any point. So it's definitely a challenge. Hey, so we are going on to our field goal competition. We're excited. Thank you, Mitchell Reynolds, for this. Getting ready to get our kick. Our player picked this week, soccer player, Sai Perez. Here we go. So we're going to go take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with that kick. All right, it's time for our big $50 kick. Mr. Ballard and I are joined with Saeed Perez. He's a soccer player, so I'm thinking this should be pretty easy for a soccer player, right?
If it's not, we got to talk to Coach Hall.
Well, I'm telling you, he may get benched.
Yeah.
So have you ever kicked a field goal before?
I think just once.
Once?
Just once.
Was it easy?
It seemed pretty easy.
It seemed pretty easy. So he's saying kicking field goals are easy. So Mr. Ballard's going to be holding. You know, if you kick Mr. Ballard's hand, it can be really bad. ADC, maybe ineligible next semester. Yep. I mean, it could be some bad things. So we're about to kick a 20-yard field goal for $50 at Brahms. Okay. You ever eat at Brahms?
Yep.
You like Brahms?
The ice cream.
Ice cream. What's your favorite ice cream?
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road.
Yep.
All right. So here we go. Saeed is getting ready to kick.
All right. Now, you know you can't blame the holder. I actually held the collar.
Oh, we got a stretch going on.
Oh, stretch? Okay.
All right. And the stretch. And, hey, you know it has to go between those yellow poles, right?
Yes,
not below. So don't hesitate. Don't shank it. All right, here we go. And the kick for a $50 gift card. All you. Oh, Eddie muffs it. No $50 gift card until next week. Well, we appreciate you joining us. Back to our sportscast. We'll be right back with you after this word of advertisement. All right, welcome back to Poto Network. We're excited to be back here. As you just saw, unfortunately, Saeed Perez did not make the kick and did not get the $50 gift card. I'm going to give Coach Hall a hard time because it's one of our soccer players. I guess kicking isn't easy, right, Mr. Ballard?
Kicking's not easy, and soccer's not easy either, but they don't always kind of mix there.
Football's a little different than a soccer.
It is.
And it's how you try to blame the holder. No.
I mean, I won't mention that I made a 40-yarder for $500 at UAPB, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Is there video evidence of
there
this?
is. I will show you later.
Okay,
Maybe we can get Nathan to upload that video evidence of me kicking that. So anyway, hey, looking at picks thus far, we're a couple guys short this week. Mr. Hackler's filling in, but just to kind of give you an idea, leading our picks right here, 11-4.
one game.
Mr. Ballard's 10-5. Carson Cohen's 9-6. Mr. Hackler's 0-0. He gets a fresh start.
I'd be 15-0.
He'd be 15-0. That's right. All right. So as we get into our predictions this week, we're going to start with Broken Bow versus Ada. Carson, who do you got? Broken Bow or Ada?
I really think Ada's gonna show up. I think they're gonna do really good. I know I didn't see a whole lot of defense when they came over here playing, but like I said, like you guys were saying too, our district's just a whole lot of offense. Defenses aren't bad, just really good offenses. I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ada.
Going Ada. What about you, Mr. Hack?
I'm going to agree with that. I think Ada's got a little bit – they're a better team. I think Broken Bow does have the best player, but I think they'll get some stops and just continue to score.
Mr. Ballard?
I think there's going to be a lot of points scored on both sides, but at the end, I think Ada is going to get their 15 district points, and I think they'll kind of pull away with it.
I'm going to disagree with all three of you. I think Broken Bow has a game plan. Ada had some great players, but I really feel that Broken Bow coming off that loss to Salisal, trying to fight for that top 2 position, I think they're going to be ready to play. So I'm taking Broken Bow this week. Next game, Glenpool versus McLean. Mr. Hack, what do you got there?
I'm going to go with the P. Warners in this one. I'm going to be rooting for Glenpool to get their first W and against McLean here.
What do you think, Mr. Ballard?
This tough one. You know, big P. Warner fan, and I got Glenpool written down here. But boys, I'm going with Tulsa McLean.
Go McLean. All right. What do you think, Carson?
I'm gonna have to go with Glenpool. I think they're gonna pull it together this one. I feel like they're finally gonna get their first one, and at home, I feel like they're strong. So I'm gonna have to go with Glenpool.
And I agree. I think Glenpool's going to win this game. I think Coach Warner's going to have them ready, and I think looking on paper, the kids will have some confidence playing McLean, and so I'm going with Glenpool. All right, that takes us to our Hilldale Stillwell. Carson, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Hilldale.
Hilldale. All right, what about you, Mr. Hack?
I think Hilldale being at home is going to be the advantage here. I think they end up winning by 2 or 3 scores. Ends up being.
Okay.
Yep, I got Hilldale as well. Too many athletes.
I agree. I'm going with Hilldale. Look across the board. Everybody's Hilldale. All right, so we get into our college pick 'em. We got Ole Miss number 8 at Oklahoma number 13.
Boomer! How about those Cowboys?
Yeah.
Huh?
All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Hack, we're going to start with you in this college game. I'm really curious to see who you're picking
So
here.
is this in Norman? It is. Isn't
It is in Norman.
You got lucky on the Texas pick, by the way.
That was so
Done.
easy.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen. I'm going to have to go with the little Lane Kiffin here. OU's defense, I will admit, is legit. After watching their offense with what's his name, Baker Jr.
Man, thumb
Um,
surgery. Come on.
Baker Jr. I just don't. I don't know if that shook him up a little bit. I don't know if he's going to be ready for what's going to be happening. I think Ole Miss is going to have to score probably 30 points to get the W, but I think there's going to be an upset in Ole Miss because OU should be favored, I think, at home. I don't know if they are, but I think Ole Miss is going to pull it out.
Mr. Ballard?
I disagree on the 30 points. I just don't see anybody scoring 30 on Oklahoma unless it's just something weird happens. Ole Miss is, for real, big Lane Kiffin fan, always have been. But, Oklahoma definitely is in the top 5. I think they're total ranked number 1, total defense. And, if you want to be called the best defense, this is the game to prove it because Ole Miss has that high-powered offense. But I got Oklahoma in this one.
Okay.
OU all the way, baby.
OU all the way. All right. Here's the deal with OU. They lose, they're done.
No,
they're done.
No, they can have 2 losses.
Nah.
Because they're two. You look at Michigan and who was the other one? Auburn. Both those are bad losses
Yeah.
or bad. They're not great wins. They thought they were
Right.
going to be great wins, but they're really not.
Yeah.
Auburn got screwed.
Yeah.
They even came out and
Oh.
admitted that official, suspended. Did you know that?
Oh.
They suspended that
Listen,
White Hat
it's an L.
for the whole year.
It's an
Telling
L.
you, got screwed.
All right.
Still,
So I'm going with Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss wins that game, and I think this is a game that whoever gets top 12 and like I said, I think Oklahoma loses here. They could be done, just depending on the situation, but we'll see.
Brent Venables, if you're watching this, I believe in you.
All right, that takes us to the University of Missouri Tigers versus Vanderbilt. I'm a Tiger fan. I'm from Missouri. I'll go ahead and make this prediction. Missouri's going to beat Vanderbilt. I felt Missouri played a really good game against Alabama. Honestly had the game won and just a couple mistakes, but I believe Missouri is going to win this. Joe?
I just don't like Missouri. They're pretenders. They've never won anything in their lives. They always think that they're good, even in the old Big 12 and the Big 8. They've never won anything. And then when they did come up against OU, we smashed them in the Big 12 and Big 8 championships. But I really like what Vanderbilt's doing. Missouri is good. I'll give them props, where it's deserved, and they've built a good team. But man, Vanderbilt's kind of that. They got something special going on with their 25th year quarterback there.
I'm about to say his 12th season.
Yeah.
Reminds me
he's
of
got
Brandon
kids.
Whedon back in the day. You know.
He might have
Yeah.
Brandon Whedon beat him in
Yeah,
the
he
years.
probably does. Yeah.
What do you got, Mr. Hack?
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna have to go with the home team, Mizzou, on this one. Vanderbilt. It's hard to think that they're legit. Like they've had some years where they've been okay. But for them, just seeing that number 10 by their name, it's like that's weird. But they are. They're really good. I think it's gonna come. This Cinderella season's about to come to an end against Mizzou.
No. What do you think, Carson?
Number 15 Mizzou, number 10 Vandy. I got Vandy. Does a big win on LSU. I think Vandy's gonna pull it off.
Carson, I make the decisions on who plays in the spring. All right, just kidding, Carson. All right, so that takes us down to Texas A&M, LSU, number 3, Texas A&M versus LSU, number 20. Who do you got, Carson?
I got LSU.
Little upset.
Man, picking anything with Brian Kelly right now, I wouldn't do it. So A&M is A&M at home on this one?
Yes.
I think I definitely take A&M, especially LSU losing to Vanderbilt. I know Vanderbilt's a lot better, but coming off that loss, I think they're reeling a little bit. So I'm going to go with A&M.
Yeah, as much as I hate it, I won't have to pick Texas A&M in this. I just think Brian Kelly. I think the wheels are starting to come off on that program, and it's just culturally, it's not a good fit. You know, he's always been able to recruit, but wheels about to fall off here, and Texas A&M is going to keep rolling.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm going to go across the board, Texas A&M. So, all right, this gets us to our featured game. The reason we're here, the reason we do this, the excitement. It's going to be a great Friday night. You know, one of the things that scares me with Friday night is weather. How's the weather going to control this game and change this game? Because if we got a heavy rain coming, you know, passing game slows down. You know, the turf becomes a little slick, you know, for both teams. And so, you know, as far as weather, Mr. Hack being the AD, lots of concerns, I'm sure, going into tomorrow.
And early on, you know, we were monitoring it because Sunday, Monday, they were talking about possible severe and lightning. But as the week's gone on, it's been just rain, if anything. And it's actually down to about 40% chance now. So game time, if you look at the hourly, I think it might miss us till later. But it's probably going to get some spotty stuff. But that's football, right?
Absolutely.
So,
At least it's
I do think, like, for both teams, I think both teams are really similar in what they do. Like, both teams can throw it. Both teams can run it. Both teams giving up some points. Both teams scored some points. So
Right.
I think it's probably just like normal in close games. It's going to come down to turnovers and getting key stops. Man, it's a big one, and you know, we've won 7 out of the last 8 in this series. So we're trying to make it 8 out of 9, and 100%. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to get the dub tonight against Sallisaw.
No, I'm excited. It's going to be a great game. Mr. Ballard?
I think Coach Hayes has got the guys ready to roll for the game, and it's always emotional when you're playing Sallisaw. It's one of the biggest rivals in the state, in my opinion. And you know, with what kind of happened last year, you looked at the stats last year. I know last year, but when we double them up and they score on 2 trick plays and a block punt in the last minute of the game last year to send it to overtime. And, you know, our guys that are playing this year has not let that go. And I know you go game by game, and the next game's the most important. But I promise you, our kids have had this game circled the entire year in the back of their mind, and I think our kids will definitely be ready to play. But so will Sallisaw. BT does a good job coaching. They're a fundamentally sound team, both sides of the ball. Like Mr. Hackler said, they're going to give up points and they're going to score points. And so this is going to be a close one tonight. Very close. It'll be exciting.
No, definitely. The emotions sometimes scare me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because, and this both ways, both teams. You know, just because you know as well as I do, trying to control your emotions to be able to play at a high level. You find those best players, you never see it in their face.
Yep.
You know, they're able to control that, and so hopefully we control that side of it.
We got a lot of seniors.
We do.
We're a veteran team.
We are very veteran. Yeah.
Sallisaw lost key players last year, so.
No,
I think you're right on the point there.
My other worry is with the weather, is it going to be able to keep the lights from flickering and stay on tonight? I mean, that's just with weather.
We've ran some tests. I think we're good.
Okay.
We're
We
got them
going to
on
be
manual.
good.
Good.
We turn
Manual.
it to manual if something does happen before fourth quarter.
Just making sure. So, what do you think about this game?
Big game, big rivals. Last year playing Sallisaw, it was one of my favorite games. Also one of the saddest. But I strongly believe Poto we are gonna play phenomenal this game. I feel like it's gonna be hard fought to the last second. I feel like it's gonna be a battle back and forth, but I think we're gonna come out on top.
I think Coach Hayes is going to pull out some plays in the bag that you haven't seen all year. He's that type of offense coordinator and head coach, and that's why we hired him.
Yeah.
For games like this.
Have some excitement and some surprises.
Yep.
You know, it's having those surprise plays and being able to mix it up a little bit is a huge advantage, you know, and I think Coach Hayes will definitely have that for us. So, I mean, I kind of have an idea where we're going, but what's your pick this week?
I thought we were supposed to pick lots. That's my fault.
That's all right.
There's no doubt in my mind the Pirates are going to give the Black Diamonds an L again.
What's the score?
Let's go. I'm going to go, and it's hard because of weather here. Let's go 38-24, Poto.
38-24. Joe?
I think it's going to be 21-17 Poto. I think there'll be a few
21-17.
points scored early. Both teams will be kind of emotional, and I think defense on both sides will settle in. And but I think we'll squeak it out there at the end.
Carson?
34-28 Poto.
34-28 Poto. I honestly feel that I think it's going to be really tight going into halftime. I think it could be a one or point either way, either team winning. But what I feel that we do a really good job of, Coach Hayes and Coach Odom both making adjustments at halftime to be able to make those adjustments to compete. And I don't think anything's going to be any different. So I feel like we'll win that second half. So I have Poto winning this. So like I said, it's going to be an exciting game. Don't miss this game. Come out tonight and watch us. It's going to be a fun night of football. So be sure to come out and support the Pirates. Thank you for joining Pirate Network and Pirate Game Day. We'll see you next Friday.